Folks, I'm really excited about today's video because I am once again joined by GuileWinQuote, one of my favorite fighting game YouTubers. We are once again going head to head to see who has the most obscure knowledge when it comes to Easter eggs, glitches, and secrets in old games. Spoiler alert, it's him. It's definitely him. But last time we did this, we did Street Fighter games, but this time we are doing SNK games. So let's hop into it. We each have a list of 5 secrets from SNK games to try to stump each other with. Wish me luck. Let's see how it goes. But before we get into the fighting game secrets, something that's not a secret is the importance of a good night's sleep. And it just got a whole lot easier thanks to today's sponsor, Titan. Titan makes super high quality mattresses designed for any body type that offer great lift and durability to deliver you a great night's sleep. If you guys are anything like me, it's probably been a little too long since you've upgraded your mattress. I honestly didn't realize how much the quality of the mattress you're sleeping on can have an impact on how well you're sleeping every night. Titan makes it super easy to find the right mattress for you using their sleep quiz. They have 3 main options to choose from: the Titan Plus, the Titan Plus Luxe, and their newest mattress, the Titan Elite. For me, I really wanted something that would support and contour my body but still stay cool at night, so I went with the Titan Elite, which has a cooling cloud pillow on top that wicks away heat. If any of you guys are like me, where you like to snuggle under a bunch of covers but you don't want to feel hot and stuffy, it's nice and breathable and it keeps you at the perfect temperature all night long. And the way Titan manufactures their beds is really smart. They use all these layers to offer different benefits like comfort, cooling, durability, as well as extra support for the big, tall, and strong. And unlike some other brands, Titan mattresses don't contain fiberglass, which can be harmful to your health. Titan actually designs, assembles, and ships all their mattresses from their Arizona factory, so there's no middleman driving up the costs, and they can ensure their entire facility is fiberglass free. And setup couldn't be easier. The mattress is delivered nice and compact in this box with free shipping in the US, by the way. And then once you get it unboxed and unwrapped, the whole thing just kind of goes like boom and basically instantly inflates to full size. This is the actual mattress I've been sleeping on at home for the last few weeks, and as soon as I got it, I immediately felt how much more comfortable it was than my old mattress. And I've also noticed a big improvement on how quickly I'm able to fall asleep and my overall sleep quality. So if you guys want to sleep better at night with a new bed, check out titanmattress.com. You can use the link below or scan the QR code and make sure to get 30% off your order with code jmcrofts. That's titanmattress.com and use code jmcrofts.
The first game on my list that I want to talk about is Samurai Shodown 2, which I think, you know, in the FGC, the SNK fighting game most of us think about is probably KOF. But I think if we were to travel back into the 90s, the SNK fighter that most Westerners would probably think of is Samurai Shodown 2. This game was probably the flagship SNK fighter back then, just because it was so pretty. It was so cool. It was a real, you know, challenger to Street Fighter 2 because it was
edgy too. I think that's another aspect, like with blood and like decapitations and stuff. I feel like maybe that, you know, with Mortal Kombat and stuff, maybe that's what the American audience was looking for.
Even though Sam Show is a very slow game, there's a lot of walking back and forth. You know, attacking in this game is really risky. For whatever reason, even though there's a lot of downtime, quote unquote, there's no way to like really like taunt. And instead, you have this. Every character has an input where they can just turn themselves into a chibi sprite. And everyone has like a different input. Like, Pomeroy's is like, you do a half circle back, forward, back, and then B.
So and they're like weird inputs?
Yeah, you're just like, a lot of them are honestly kind of hard. Like, it's not something that you would ever just like, you know, accidentally do. And whenever you turn into a chibi sprite, you can't like do anything.
So there is no real benefit to doing it?
No, it's literally just like, hey, look, check out this little sprite, you know, that we do. So I'm on keyboard for second player, so forgive me, but all right.
Whoa, you see it? Bro, wait, he's kind of cute as a chibi.
Yeah, he's cute. Every character has one, and just because we have Sam Show up and running, I have another just super quick. If you look at his stage background in the pot, you see a xenomorph.
Whoa! Oh, you're right. Can we see his chibi form?
I don't know the input.
Strategy wiki.
Yeah, no, literally, yeah. Sam Show 2 Move list. Let's look it up. Down forward, down, back, down forward, reverse DPC.
What the?
Okay. There you go.
Okay, let's go. Well, you know, I will tell you that I was messing with these controls because I also have a Sam Show 2 Easter egg, and I'm not actually interested in like these characters on character select. Like these guys are whatever. The character that I'm interested in is this guy in the middle here with the 2 flags. I find him so interesting. You know, he's just there and he just follows you, right? I guess he's like the ref. But why do you need a ref when you can like literally kill people in this game? You know, what's his job? But I have learned that there are a bizarre set of circumstances that you can accomplish here. So yeah, it needs to be the 6th, 8th, or 10th fight in arcade mode. It has to be the 2nd round, so I have to kill my opponent here. There have to be 20 seconds or less left on the clock. All right, we're below 20 seconds here. I need to be in rage mode, and I need to do my weapon breaking technique. We have to end the round with weapon breaking technique. And I believe this should trigger a little Easter egg for us here. Oh, it's time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, very strong you are. Do fight with me. And he's all of the arcade mode bosses here are Kuroko. All right, let's see. Do you think I can actually beat him? Be on your guard, please. I am really strong.
You know, this is a hidden SNK boss, so, you know. Do you have
yeah,
the
might be. Oh my, bro, did you? My
Dude,
attack just went through.
He just cleanly dodged.
Let me see if I can. What the? What is that? I'm trying to do like my secret super there, but no such luck. All right, I'll weapon flipping. Come on. He's cracked. I haven't got one hit. So yeah, anyway.
He's too strong. He's too strong.
He is insane. Yeah. So Kuroko, he is sometimes like a secret playable character, but this was the first time he was actually like a character that you could fight.
And I think this is like, you know, ooh.
What? What?
Dun dun dun.
He cut himself in 2. So yeah, that's yeah. I feel like he has some references to like other SNK characters.
Oh
like,
no, yeah, he's like just doing like Art of Fighting and Fatal Fury stuff. I think it's cool that you know, this is in the era of like, you know, Reptile and stuff, MK2, like secret characters. I feel like there's no way that I can imagine someone from the 90s like just you can't stumble upon like fighting Reptile. It's so convoluted.
Yeah.
So I appreciate this secret boss because it's like, okay, yeah, if you know a character's super attack, you might be able to do this like accidentally, you know?
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, to be honest, the hardest part is actually just getting through arcade mode.
Yeah,
like,
because I mean it's an old SNK game. Right?
Yeah, even getting to stage 6 here for the video was really, really hard.
So my secret, I guess it's an Easter egg. I don't know what else to call it. Is it's kind of in 2 parts. So we're looking at Art of Fighting, which is the game where Ryo and Robert are from. This, you know, fun fact if you didn't know, Art of Fighting and Fatal Fury take place in the same universe. Just Art of Fighting takes place in like the 70s, and Fatal Fury takes place in the 90s.
Oh, so, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And KOF is like its own weird thing that just like it has its own timeline, and that's why all the characters are there. But anyways, we have you know, this is a very old, a bit dated fighting game. But we have Ryo versus King. Something that I think is cool about this game is that there is like battle damage. So like King is like, you know, obviously
like
visibly like beat up. But if you beat King with a special move in Art of Fighting, her whole top comes off. Bro. You know, it's supposed to be a reveal because like King is supposed to be, you know, she's a girl. She's Mulaning it. All right. She's
right. It's kind of like Metroid 1, like at the end, you see like Samus was a girl the whole time. Like, holy
yeah,
cow.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I mean, her name is King. She has a very, I guess masculine look, and so the reveal is, oh, you beat her, and like, oh, it was a girl this whole time. So this kind of continues in another game, which is King of Fighters 94, which is the first
94.
Which is the very first King of Fighters. And weirdly enough, if you've never, played the first King of Fighters, you actually don't get to like select your characters. You only get to select a team. And like that's everyone you have. But so we have this Art of Fighting team, which is Team Mexico for some reason. But if we look at the women's team, which is England, we have Mai, Yuri, and King. You could probably see where this is going.
We got the legendary stage though.
The first in KOF, and I think it's like super sick.
I love the games where you can see your teammates in the background. Like not every KOF does that.
If we beat Mai with a special move, nothing happens.
Okay, respectable.
Yeah, which is, I'm sure it took a lot of restraint, But, as soon as we get to an Art of Fighting character, get a little closer so they don't go off screen, same thing happens.
Oh, bro.
And it's even more ridiculous in this game.
That's crazy. Bro, and like the little kids playing this are like, oh my god.
Yeah, this is 94, like, could you imagine like seeing this in the arcade? This is probably more controversial than Mortal Kombat.
Maybe. This is like when Oro does his crouching heavy kick. Like they sneak it in there.
This one, I mean, so since this is the last character, it's going to cut to a screen, but it would happen to Yuri too. But this one is just bad because like they're siblings,
Oh, bro.
So I'm going to call this, the KOF Gooner Easter egg. I don't know what else to call it, but if you beat King or Yuri with a special move, their clothes come off as a reference to Art of Fighting.
Bro, all right. I mean, listen, they don't make them like this anymore.
SNK might. SNK might be the only ones who might. I don't know. But
all right. Well, I mean, if you have a let's say a Goonerish one, I have one as well here.
Wow.
I feel
SNK,
like
maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. They don't make them like they used to.
All right, we're playing Real Bout Fatal Fury. And something cool about this game is that it has ring outs. So you can see here at the edge, there's like this paneling. And if you hit the opponent into that, eventually it'll break and you can ring them out. So theoretically, yeah, eventually it'll break and you can go out of bounds and then ride the elevator up. So I think every single stage in the game has a unique thing like this.
Most of them do, yeah.
If we go here to this stage, and we have to be playing as Blue Mary.
The GOAT.
And I'm going to try to ring out the AI here. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. We can ring him out, and then I'll move my camera here. Blue Mary! There is a wardrobe malfunction in the water, let's just say. There we go.
There you go.
Bro, so...
And it just, like, it's straight up.
I'm going to have to censor it for the video.
Yeah, you might get age restricted on that.
Yeah, for real. So, they just let that rock. I figured, like, they kind of felt... I mentioned the Oro crouch heavy kick thing. It really seems like back in the old days, they were like, well, if it's only one frame, no one will ever know.
But that was just so, like... It's just there,
Yeah.
If I was a child in 95, 96, whatever, I would probably... I would try to, if I had a Neo Geo, I'd be pausing on that.
Yeah, that would have been the most scandalous thing I had ever seen at that age.
As soon as you would see that on Fightcade, you would start hitting coin. Everyone would be excited, You would throw the match for it almost, So my next one, I'm technically not doing an SNK game. I'm gonna be cheating a bit. This is Capcom versus SNK 2. Don't get mad at me because the Easter egg is SNK related. And whenever I'm at an event and CvS2 is on or people are playing CvS2, this is kind of like my party trick. This is something that I mention that I feel like a lot of people just don't know about. This might be a hot take, I don't know, but I think the roster in CvS2, especially on the SNK side, is kind of bad. You know,
That is a bit of a hot take.
We have a lot of very boring, like, you know, picks. We have to have the World Warriors of, you know, SNK, which makes sense. So, you know, we have like, you know, we have Terry, Keo, of course, and stuff like that. But the only interesting picks I feel like are in this game are like Hibiki and like Rugal. Everyone else is kind of like, I like the fact that there's no like Nest Saga characters, so no K-Dash or whatever. That's true. I know, like, you know, those were like newer games, but like the fact that there's no Ikari Warriors, no Leona, no Ralph, no Clark is very strange to me. But one that always bothered me is that there's no Daimon for whatever reason.
Yeah, and there's Raiden, which is because Raiden was not in KOF at this point.
No, he wasn't. And we have Chang. I mean, Chang is cool. You know, he was in KOF, but it's like there's no Daimon, which is like insane. But if you pick Benimaru versus Kyo, they actually have an Easter egg that you've probably never seen because it's only on certain stages. And also these characters aren't good. So you're never going to see these characters. But if you have these two characters on certain stages, Daimon is in the background.
He just chills there. Wow, he looks small too.
Yeah, no, he's very small, and he actually interacts and stuff like how you mentioned earlier that you like when the teammates are in the background. So he doesn't like do anything crazy, but you know, you'll see his like mouth open or whatever. He'll like stand up every once in a while, like that sort of thing. So yeah, Daimon is in CvS2, and I feel like it's not really well known just because you never see these characters on screen, and it's only on specific stages. But I think it's really cool, and I wish he was just an actual character, though.
Yeah.
Because Daimon is so sick.
Daimon with roll canceling would be... I mean, he kind of has roll canceling in a way in KOF 13, but...
Yeah, imagine CvS2, you know, the tournament's been going on for 14 hours because it's the longest game ever. It's 2 a.m., and you're just hearing, you know, Daimon's, like, sandals on the ground.
Yeah,
the clopping like a horse, you know.
All right, we're here in KOF 98. This one's really easy to show. I feel like KOF is kind of known for like its stage Easter eggs. Like they'll have a character like hidden somewhere, and
the characters you want in the game are usually in the background somewhere.
Yeah, for real. So they always hide like a million things in all the stages, but in this one they have a stage Easter egg that I don't think I've seen in any other game. Here you can actually see there is a name, Takamori, written at the top. Sozi Takamori, the person who designed the stage. That's why the name is there, and it's the only stage in this that has that, and it's the only stage I think I've ever seen in a fighting game that has that. But I find that kind of interesting, and you can like, you know, there's something I use a lot in videos is like GIFs of like the entire stage. You know, people will make like an animated version of the whole stage.
Yeah.
And that's just on there. If you dump the sprites for the stage, it's just there. So I found that kind of interesting.
And I don't blame him because like look how cool and detailed this is. This was in like the era, especially between Capcom and SNK, where a lot of the people working on like games weren't allowed to put their name in the credits because they didn't want, you know, their workers getting poached. So the only way to get credit in video games was to like sneak it in, you know?
And they would have like fake names in the credits and stuff, yeah.
Let me also go to an easy one. With City of the Wolves coming out, I might as well look at basically what Fatal Fury is in the West. I feel, you know, there's like 3 major Fatal Fury games that still get a lot of play, but, you know, of the old titles, but Garou I feel like is the only one that exists in the West because it's SNK's Third Strike, you know?
Yeah.
But it's still a cool game. It's still a really cool game.
Yeah, so, I feel like Fightcade had a really big impact on this game, like being kind of the preeminent Fatal Fury game, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This being accessible, and you know, a lot of people love Third Strike. So, you know, it just kind of like you know, it aligns itself, and it's such a pretty game too. It's so pretty, in fact, that the Neo Geo can barely handle it, and it doesn't run that well.
It is insane to think that this is basically like the same hardware as Sam Show 2 that we were looking at.
No, yeah, I mean, at this point, by the time this came out, we went from, so, you know, Street Fighter 2 came out on the CPS1.
Yeah.
And then Street Fighter 3 came out on the CPS3 8 years later. Neo Geo came out in 91. 8 years later, they were still on the Neo Geo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Art of Fighting 2, which we looked at earlier, you know, the same way. So in this game, characters have normal taunts, but on certain stages, whenever you taunt, you know, stuff actually interacts in the background. So in the round 2 of Terry's stage, every time we taunt, you know, the audience kind of gets riled up. They start clapping and stuff. Here's another stage. If you taunt, crowd gets hype again. So another hidden thing with taunts in this game is if we win the match and we hold forward or back taunt, we actually get new taunts. That's only on the round end. So, you know, Dong's taunt, his normal taunt is this.
The footsie.
Here's his.
Whoa! Dance on him.
He's got a little dance. So every character in this game has 2 secret taunts that are done only at round end, and you hold forward and back and hit the taunt button, which is really cool. I mean, fighting games need to bring back the ability to do things after a round is over anyways. I'm so sick of the game taking away my control as soon as the round ends. So Garou not only lets you, you know, press buttons, but hey, you actually have 2 secret taunts if you really just want to disrespect someone and do the dong dance on them. So.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a really big talking point with Street Fighter 4, because in the first version, you could they called it the courtesy duff, where you beat someone, you can hit them again, but then in Super, they got rid of it, and everyone always said they thought it was disrespectful, so they got rid of it because they didn't want players disrespecting each other.
Which is the dumbest. I don't care. You lost. You lost.
Exactly.
Like you have to hold it. You know. And a lot of the times you don't even get to like. It's not like you're like comboing their dead body. Most of the time you're just pressing like heavy punch.
Yeah.
You're just like fiercing or something. You know. So like, just let me do it. Stop.
It feels
taking
good
away
to
my
hit
control.
it. Yeah. Okay, we're back in KOF 98. Can you tell? I kind of like this game.
It's a good game. It's the footsies KOF. It's the real KOF.
Those who know will probably already see where this is going. But something interesting in this game is you can kind of select your post-round action, which I like. So depending on the button you press at the end of the round, your character will do a different little taunt. So we have to go to this stage. All right, so when I get a kill here, I'll press D, and this is going to give me my D win pose. Yeah, where he kind of like, I don't know, does like a seductive pose or whatever. But here in round 3, I'm going to fulfill some specific requirements here. We have to be Choi in the second slot. It has to be round 3. We have to win in under 30 seconds. It cannot be a perfect. So I have to take one hit here. Okay. And we cannot press C plus D. We cannot use the same punch more than once. And we cannot use punch, special moves, or throws. So with all those rules in place, I will get a kill here, and I will do my C post-match taunt here, and we'll see if we pull it off. Oh no, I failed. I failed! What did I do wrong?
This is I don't know. I don't know what this one is. Like, this sounds so convoluted.
Oh, I have to win with a special move. That's the one thing I forgot. Okay, let's try this again. It's round 3. It must be under 30 seconds. No C plus D moves. No punch attack more than once. And I must kill with a special move.
That is so... This is some Mortal Kombat stuff. This is like, look at Luluna. You can't block.
This is perhaps the most obscure Easter egg I've found in one of these games. So, all right, we'll kill with a special move this time. And we have to do our C taunt. Are you kidding me? I'm losing my mind. Hold on. I got to look up the directions. I must be missing something.
Oh,
there they go. We did it.
I almost missed it. Who are they?
Here is the lore according to Raito ADV on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, he's a KOF fiend.
It makes sense that he knows about this then.
Yeah, he's SNK GOAT.
So the characters are Takeshi and Mika. characters made for an old SNK radio show called Neo Chupi. They also make a cameo in Card Fighters Clash as opponents in Neo Geo Land.
Really? Okay.
But regardless, it took a lot of practice, but we got the glitch.
We did it.
That for this video, that was the new hardest one to get. And it sounds like I actually found one that you didn't know about, which I'm really happy about.
No, yeah, I had no idea. Now the time to never select Choi ever again, ever in your life.
I know. And yeah, the fact that you can't do you can't do a punch special move, you can't do a punch throw.
And you can't do CD more than once, right?
You can't do CD at all, and you can't do the same punch attack more than once.
It's so specific for what? Why did they want to hide that so badly?
I haven't tested all of these rules. Like, there are some that we know are true. Like, we know it can't be a perfect because it kept breaking when we tried to have a perfect.
Whatever you just did, well, those are the rules forever. Because like, who wants to go through and keep testing it? You know?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my second to last one. We're finally free.
This is my 5th one, my last one, and this is Fatal Fury Special.
Oh, look at this art of Terry.
This is a really cool game. This is like the last of the. So we have the Fatal Fury games, and then we go into the Real Bout games, and then we have like Mark of the Wolves at the end.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is kind of like capping off the end of like the original, like the Street Fighter 2 of Fatal Furies, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I want to go to my boy Duck King. I love Duck King. I'm a huge
Bring
Duck
back
King
Duck
fan.
King, man.
You know, I was so sure that City of the Wolves was going to have a waifu successor for Duck King. I thought we were going to get Duck Princess, all right? We got Salvatore instead. Well, okay, whatever. We need to get to the 4th round.
The 4th round? What does that mean?
The 4th round. Usually, you know, matches are best 2 out of 3, but if we have a draw game, it's going to go to the 4th round.
Yeah. So, this was a feature in old games where they would give you like one freebie.
I think in like World Warrior, the original release of Street Fighter 2, it could like go on forever. It could go on to like 10 rounds or something, and then they like cut it down.
Yeah, I think they realized that people were like scamming quarters, you know?
Yeah, like, hey, let's stop so we could keep playing the game.
Yeah.
So, but if we get to the 4th round, which requires a draw game, we got these cute little ducklings dancing in the background now. So cool, so cool. You can only see this if you get to the 4th round. But a lot of stages in this game actually do this. So another one that I think is probably like the funniest or like just most random to me. We're gonna have to go to a stage for a character I don't think anyone who started playing fighting games past 1993 care about. You know, so it's interesting. In the City of the Wolves director literally recently said that they were going to include every Fatal Fury character. Like, you know, and so I'm just thinking like, oh really, you're gonna bring back Ching? Like,
yeah,
he's gonna come back, you know, we're gonna be hyper Ching. I don't know, but so same deal. You know, we have this honestly a very, very cool stage.
I like the writing. C Pals Jumbo.
You know what? I never even noticed that. Steve House. I hadn't noticed that. Wow. But honestly, really cool Hong Kong stage. So if we skip ahead to the 4th round again, we're going to see something else happen in the background that's not Duckling related. It's not as cute as what Duck King brings to the table. It's actually pretty sad.
I'm playing Where's Waldo here. What? Bro!
That whole ship, that whole just ocean restaurant goes down.
Were there people on board?
Everyone's dead.
No.
Presumably. That's it. While we fight.
If you get a timeout here, does it give you another reround?
I don't think so. Yeah.
No.
It just goes into continue.
You both lose your quarter. Okay.
So
that is tragic.
I'm not gonna show another stage Easter egg, but I just want to show something else that I think is really cute. That's really, really quick. He has a stage that's very similar to Chun's like Alpha 2 stage with like, you know, people riding bikes in the background and stuff. This game has a lane system, so you can go you know, backwards and forwards. So we see someone riding a bike.
Yeah.
And now let's wait for the next bike to show up. If we go into the background when a bike is passing by, we actually hit the person off, which I think is really cute.
You can just assault a stranger.
Missed that one because I took my hands off the stick. Not really an Easter egg, but I just think it's a cute thing.
Yeah, we have lane changing in City of the Wolves. Allegedly, it's like a separate mode. I hope they add something like that. Like something
I hope they do something, create like even like on like a Terry train stage, like if we have like barrels or something, we can like brush them.
There are the ducks on that stage too.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know what? But I would also enjoy like assaulting someone. So SNK, you hear my plea.
All right,
to me.
Quote it, take it out of context, clip it and ship it. He would enjoy assaulting someone. All right. Let me pull up my final one here. All right, I'm firing up everyone's favorite SNK game.
That's right. Everyone's favorite.
SVC Chaos, SNK versus Capcom. We were talking earlier about how AI is always pretty difficult in these games, right? Like SNK arcade mode is always really tough.
This game especially, like I don't know how you're supposed to get like the secret endings like without cheating in this game.
But something that I think people figured out about this arcade mode is that the AI is kind of like reactive a bit to the way that you play. So if you just like don't press very much, the AI will actually become like very passive. Like if I'm like going crazy and attacking her, she'll just like input read me and destroy me. But if I stand still, you can see she actually attacks like pretty rarely and pretty slowly.
Yeah.
But there is one character with whom you can really abuse this. Mai. Oh God, he's back. Oh no, PTSD.
Getting his revenge.
So for whatever reason, people realized that if you play Mai and you just don't press anything, the AI will also not do anything.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. It
only works with Mai, and they actually fixed this in the console ports, so we can get one hit,
and you could scam it,
and then not press anything, and you can beat the whole game like this.
That would have honestly made my life a million times easier if I'd use this.
Yeah, I mean you can't see all the endings, of course, because you need to play Mai, but there's an even more abusable thing that you can do. This will take some work here. Okay, we get a throw. We walk up, and then we take our hands off the stick again. And then he can't react to our throw. So you can this way you don't even need to wait for timeout. So this really, really saves time. So this is like by far the fastest and easiest way to beat this arcade mode, and it only works with Mai. Only on the arcade version, but I have to assume this can't be intentional. This is some kind of glitch, but it's pretty amazing.
Wow. This is SVC Chaos was so ahead of its time. We got throw loops.
Yeah, exactly. They knew that Mai would have the best throw loop, right?
20 years before Street Fighter 6. And it's in another game with where Mai crosses over with Capcom. How crazy.
True.
The foreshadow. This is crazy level foreshadowing.
So that's my last one, and it seems like you also didn't know about this one.
No, I did not know. I would have loved to have known that. It probably would have made like recording footage of like trying to get to a specific part or something.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, someone forgot a zero somewhere.
Can the Mai AI handle the Mai doing nothing? Well, let's see. Nope. But yeah, like if I like go crazy and like I'm rushing down and pressing buttons and stuff, yeah, she'll activate. It's like a sleeper cell.
Yeah, that's like the epitome of like SNK like AI, just like reading your inputs. If there's no inputs, there's nothing to read. There's nothing going on in your head.
We mind broke it. Well, I think it goes without saying that the only one of yours that I even kind of knew about, I think, was the Chibi one. So I think you definitely came through with the stumpers. Well played.
I won't lie. I provided my list, earlier, so I kind of got the, I was able to get the lead on like what I wanted to pick. So it might have been a little bit unfair.
No, I think without question, you are the knowledge hub of old and weird fighting games, and definitely more of an SNK head than me. So yeah, we had some really interesting stuff. So thank you for coming through with the knowledge.
No, thank you for having me. You know, if I can't win $1 million on stage, I might as well know that Daimon is in CvS2 in the background.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Do you have anything you want to shout out before we say goodbye here?
Yeah, play SNK games. I've kind of gone through my own SNK renaissance. I've really, you know, I've always loved and appreciated KOF, especially in the background. But now I'm actually playing the KOF, and it's like far and beyond my favorite modern fighter. So even with City of the Wolves, you know, just explore SNK in general. I feel like in the West, a lot of people try to approach these games like they're Street Fighter, like they're Capcom games, which you can't do. And if you take anything away from these Gooner Easter eggs or what my doing nothing, you know, just these games are really cool and interesting and worth your time. And you know, not playing them is, you know, gatekeeping a whole world of fighting game, you know, appreciation away from you. So yeah, play SNK.
Absolutely. Well, I second that motion, and yeah, with that we'll call it a day. Thank you again for coming through, and thank you to you guys at home for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
See ya.